Hi, everyone. My name is Bruce, and today with me is the lovely Janet from Another Planet.
Uh,
We finished watching a film called Deception, directed by Marcel Langenegger. Langenegger.
hmm
There's. I'm sure there's a mispronunciation there, but
Never heard of him.
yeah,
So I don't know what other movies that he directed.
he uh,
No idea.
he wrote Jordan Roberts' 3-2-1 Frankie Go Boom with Charlie Hunnam, Chris O'Loud, Lizzie Kaplan, Chris Knopf, Whitney
Never heard
Cummings.
of that either.
Yeah,
Sorry.
kind of a small biz guy out of Switzerland.
It's hard to believe that somebody that small could get Ian McGregor, three name actors.
Hugh Jackman, Ewan McGregor, and Michelle
People
Williams.
that had supporting roles. The one actress from England, the European actress,
No, the fact they grabbed Charlotte Rampling and had a
and
woman,
she was nude.
yeah, I
So
mean
this thing.
she put the girls out there in front of us.
And she looked good.
Yeah, she actually did. She actually, I don't know
She
what
was
else.
so classy. She had such a classy character in this movie.
Yeah, she was
Very
really classy.
classy.
She taught him the ropes. She got him in the ropes. And the thing is, she was a 1966 film called
Mhm.
Georgie Girl with Lynn Redgrave. Then she did Lucio Visconti's The Damned and The Night Porter. They did a lot of English and English language films like Stardust Memories, The Verdict, Long Live Life, The Wings of a Dove. But then in the 2000s, according to Wikipedia, Francois Ozon, uh, that was his muse, and she appeared in a lot of his films, Under the Sand, Swimming Pool, Young and the Beautiful, and also she was in Dexter.
Well, he probably really liked her personality. He liked her the way she carried herself and stuff, and that's one reason a lot of directors will use certain actors in lots of their films,
Yep.
TV shows, things like that, because they work well with them and they know what to expect from them because they have
I,
a good working relationship. And that sometimes really does help, as you can see with what was it, the guy from that you love, Kurt Russell. Some of his directors he's made multiple movies with.
yeah, I mean, John Carpenter and him have been together, what, 4 or 5 times? Something
Hmm.
like that.
And good movies.
Three times minimum, I think. But
Hmm.
yeah, they're fantastic films. And then he's kind of gravitated around Quentin Tarantino, and he's been around Peter Berg, two other big guys in the business, and just it's a lot of fun to watch Quentin Tarantino go to work. And then Michael Berg dials him in for the company man role in uh, Deepwater Horizon. Oh, I love that movie. We're gonna review that here pretty soon, actually.
Yeah, you
Um,
keep saying that, but nothing's happened yet that I've seen.
I mean,
But yeah, they did a good job at acting in a movie that was very boring. You know what I mean? If
mhm,
you put different actors in this movie, the movie would have been a yawn fest.
mhm.
But because they were such good actors and they add so much character to their characters, it actually made it not seem as long.
This movie has character development at the forefront,
Yeah.
and that's one thing that a lot of other directors really should look at some films like this. This movie would pair really well with Mr. Brooks, be a good double feature.
Hmm.
Um, I was very impressed by both films in that aspect where the characters are fun to watch. Uh,
Yeah.
I really like William Hurt in Mr. Brooks. I just thought he was the highlight of that show because
He's
I
a kick-ass actor. That's one reason. It doesn't matter what part he plays.
yeah.
And now I can't say that about Hugh Jackman because I have seen him in a couple of movies that I thought were kind of stinkers. The one where he travels through time. I can't remember the name of it, but I didn't think it
Cloud
was very good.
Atlas, or no, you're talking about the Fountain.
Yeah, The Fountain. I thought was horrible. It was a horrible movie. No matter how good of an actor he was, he just couldn't make it good.
I couldn't really
It
say
was
that
terrible.
movie. That movie is also a passion project by the same guy that made, I think, Blade Runner. Dennis Villeneuve. It's the French guy.
Hmm.
Uh, Denis Villeneuve made that movie as a passion project, and Hugh Jackman's like one of those guys he always wanted to work with, and do that movie. And then you have Rachel Weisz, and she's in that movie, and she does a pretty okay part, but that movie just can never truly ascend to greatness. It's at best a good movie. And
Yeah.
you're looking at me like I just like shat all over something because you hate that film.
It's okay. I mean, it's an okay film. But it's not as bad as the other ones, a few others that I really thought were horrible.
Janet says it's an okay film. You're not watching it with Janet. That's what's fucking happening.
Well, I'll watch any movie. Even like I said, if
No, you won't. No,
yeah,
you won't.
unless it's a porn, I'm not going to watch a porn. But
I do have one of my crowning achievements was I got you to watch FDR American Badass.
I know, I was like really, and it was bad. It was a bad movie, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
The funny thing is you're probably going to watch that movie again at some point in your life, just so you can laugh and be disgusted.
I almost threw up in that one scene, so it was so real. The poop scene.
I'm just saying. Like, there's two movies that I hold on high esteem I got you to watch. One of them being FDR American Badass, and the second one being my favorite sheep movie out of New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely love Black Sheep. And I don't know why they called it Black Sheep. They would...
Well, honestly, Black Sheep was better than FDR American Badass.
Of course.
It was a way better
movie. The movie's got the mark of quality all over it.
The story was a lot better and more interesting.
The story's a lot better. The actors are a lot better. The special effects are actually, like, they put money into
it. Yeah, it had money in it. You could definitely tell. But this one wasn't too bad. I mean, it looked, the scenes were good, but they were kind of, the backdrop was boring. It was like, I didn't even know what city they were supposed to be in. Was it New York? But it seems like they were always in Chinatown or something. Mm-hmm. It was little things like that I didn't like. Okay. And it was, the scenes were drawn out. It was like too many just nothing scenes. There was nothing in it. It was just a blank screen, basically, with a person like maybe standing, looking in the mirror or something. It was just, I don't know. It was almost like taking a play and making a movie out of it.
The guy that was the director of photography is Dante Spinotti, and he was queued up for Manhunter and then was involved with Last of the Mohicans. So when he's given something to work with, he does really well. Mm-hmm. This movie, I think, because the Langenegger was just a lot of, he was not really into it. He was looking for, how can I evolve these characters? I just shoot something. Just go shoot something. And that's all I'm getting whenever I watch this movie, because a lot of this movie doesn't really have an identity behind the characters. Literally, you said it. It feels like a play.
Yeah, it's not. But see, have you ever been to a real play, like a Broadway play? Yeah. Like, okay, there's a lot of walking across the stage and just a lot of gaps in the story simply because of the distance they have to travel for it. When they don't have to do that when you're filming some things. You see, it could be immediate, or 2 seconds instead of 25 seconds, stuff like that. Okay. Little things that they fix. And that to me is in the editing. A lot of this could have been fixed in editing, but I really do believe that the director didn't want certain things cut out. He felt that it needed to be in there to tell the story the way he envisioned it. And
a lot of this movie doesn't really require a location. It really doesn't. This could have been shot on a stage. It probably would have been better.
I wonder if this was a play made into a movie. I don't know. It could have been. It just seemed, I don't know, little things about it reminded me of a play. I don't know why. Maybe it was the timing, something like that. I don't know. But it was phenomenal acting, and they really wanted to be in it. So for whatever purpose that was, whether it was the director, they really liked this guy and wanted to be in one of his movies. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of, because, and I don't know how much I got paid, but you had, now Michelle I didn't see her nude at all. I didn't see her frontal nudity or anything like that. Now you saw plenty of other women's. That was part of the thing that I thought was so exciting. I was really getting pulled in. The whole intrigue went around the whole sex group, right? How high tech that was. You make a phone call and you say, "Are you available tonight?" And they either say yes or no, and then they say where. You meet up and you have to kind of like look around, especially if you haven't hooked up with this person before, on who's waiting for you, right? Mm-hmm. And whoever makes the call is the one that sets up the hotel and whatever. And it's not a dump, it's not like Days Inn. You're going to like
you're not going to like, a Motel 6, a motel.
Now, you could do that on a budget. You could do a hotline sex calls or whatever. It's trailer time or whatever you want to call it. But I thought it was very intriguing. I thought it was like, wow, that would be a really good movie, and not end up being like Eyes Wide Shut, being so. I just hated that movie.
That's the one thing about this movie that I was having thoughts about. Like, okay, we got a chance to watch this movie. Would Janet be into watching Eyes Wide Shut? And I'm deciding against Eyes Wide Shut.
Have you seen it?
Hold on. Let me explain.
Okay.
Eyes Wide Shut is really not a movie that I think a lot of people want to discuss. There's so much stuff where they want to just instead talk about all the things like the conspiracy theories and all the Hollywood sex cults that you don't really talk about Eyes Wide Shut. That's just the inception of the entire conversation of this. So if we ever schedule, we're going to watch Eyes Wide Shut, we're just going to grab like all of our fucking books, tomes, internet links for all of our conspiracy theories. I'll get a Hecklefish doll from the Y-Files, and we'll just go whole hog on this shit, talking about all the wild NXMM stuff going on with all the kids and all the sex trading. And, you can bring out like Jim Caviezel and his buddies from whatever super tier group they're part of, killing traffickers and all that. We could just have a fucking good time. Why are we talking about this? Oh, yeah, we watched Eyes Wide Shut. There's nothing to talk about with Eyes Wide Shut. Everything about Eyes Wide Shut is the fucking the culture of sin that's around it. Mm-hmm. There's no need to talk about Eyes Wide Shut. And I know that sounds to be like I'm trying to kidney punch it so I don't have to go 2 rounds with it. But I really don't feel like that would be a good movie to even discuss anyway, because when we do this, I want to talk about the movies and just kind of the stuff around it, but then eventually like make sure the viewers know and our friends know we are talking about this movie. We start talking about Eyes Wide Shut, and by the end of 2.5 hours, 3 hours, we're on the InfoWars website in the back fucking servers checking out like what really was going on, and I tell you what, this is really not going to end well for America. And that's where it goes.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that's kind of like, not trying to gloat, but it's not going to be another situation where we talk about Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah, thank goodness. I can't stand that movie. Ugh. Terrible in every aspect that I can even think of. So
yeah, the Eyes Wide Shut might get you kicked off social media. Sound of Freedom. There's a few other films like that.
Yeah, I was trying to go through my notes here, and I'm getting about to log in on my phone so I can actually type in the chat. But hold on for a second. I'm trying to get my mouse to work.
But I'm happy you like this film, because
I was really shocked because I was not expecting to like it at all. I don't know why. After watching the trailer, I was like, not really.
Not on it.
The trailer didn't do justice to the movie. Mm-mm. I mean, do you feel the same way?
It doesn't.
I was really impressed now it was slow. It was even through the whole movie, it was slow.
It's a slow burn.
It had lots of twists and turns. It had very good character development for her character, for Michelle's character, and what was her name in the movie? Sasha, because you only called her S. Remember, she didn't really have a name.
Yes, that's it.
So she had very good character development because you didn't know who was going to happen, because he slept with like 5 women before he had her, and he didn't even sleep with her because he had seen her in the subway.
Did you note who the women were? Like, who was the first one he fucked?
The first one, I remember, she was a famous model. Wasn't she a famous runway model?
She was also in the sci-fi classic, which I feel
bad.
Oh,
yeah, she was that alien creature.
She was in Species, which was at the time of its release.
Freaking gorgeous.
Yeah, she was Natasha
Ewan McGregor got to get his hands on so many women's bodies and make out with all those hot chicks. I mean, there was a couple of dark-skinned girls, an Asian girl, a couple blondes, tall women, older ladies, and all of them, man, they were all like.
I don't know. I think the one that he probably should still be like happy about was that older lady, because
the one where he came out of the business and he turned and you saw the Forbes magazine there when she was on the cover, and you just kind of like goes, like, look at me, look who I'm sleeping with.
I'm banging that. Fuck yeah.
That was one of the big leaps in the character arc for him, because he went from this mousy guy that didn't even look anybody in the eye, basically, just an accountant that just kept his face in his computer and barely spoke. And when he did speak, he didn't speak in a commanding voice. He was very quiet and demure like that, not commanding. But after he started getting all the roles in the hay, and the women seemed to enjoy him because they were calling him back. I mean, because he went and he slept with that one woman a couple of times, right? But you could see that he was standing taller. He was walking with a little,
he was getting his
step. Yeah, he was realizing, hey man, I've been missing out, and I'm not going to miss out anymore. I'm going to enjoy myself. Why not? He's making all this money, put it in the bank, but he's not doing anything. He's not living life. That's why when you see so many people that are poorer people, I'm not saying dirt poor, but an older couple, they've been working and now they're retired, and you see them walking hand in hand, they laugh at each other, they're happy to be with each other, and even though they don't have a lot, because they have each other, they have love, they're having a real life, they're learning, they're growing with each other, right? And here's a guy who's making lots of money, but why? What good is having shit tons of money if all you're going to do is snort it away, shoot it up, do whatever, and then die with nobody. Not one person's going to miss you, real. They're going to say, oh, well, I'll miss this money.
Where I stand up and I tell Janet, you leave those oil field workers alone.
But you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's why I think I always talk about it, though. I really believe that when you find someone and you work at your relationship and you try to be there for each other, you're going to get more enjoyment out of life. You're going to, what I really like, and I do this a lot, I'll be sitting in a restaurant or in a bar with other friends, and I look around at other people that I don't know. And there's a couple or two sitting at tables, and you can see the guy reach across the table and put his hand on the other woman's hand. And they look like they've been together a while. Maybe it's their first date. I don't know. But little things like that are what are romantic, I feel. Just like I said, if the guy pulls over and he pulls some wildflowers out of the ground and he still has some roots on the bottom or whatever, and he brings them to his wife and she puts him in a glass of water or whatever, that's romantic, because that's something where he thought about you when you weren't even around, when he was just driving home thinking, I can't wait to go home and kiss my wife, that kind of a thought. Same thing for the wife saying, I miss my husband. I can't wait till he gets home from work. And I made him brownies, or, spaghetti, his favorite meal, or a salad, whatever it is, or bacon. Maybe she just made him a whole pack of bacon or whatever. I don't know. But the thing is that I love that part of it. That was one of the things I loved about when he sees her and she comes in and she starts to unbutton her shirt, and he was, wait a minute, because it was different this time. It wasn't where she just ripping off her clothes, crawling all over him in bed or whatever. Like, exciting. I'm not saying that's not exciting, but he had seen her in the subway earlier, in the month, and he recognized her, and they actually spoke to each other about what train that she was supposed to take, right? So he had a connection. So he felt awkward at the time because he didn't know her name, so or anything, but he had a personal connection because he had spoke to her and looked her in the eye when he talked to her and stuff, when he was still mousy, you know what I mean? Where at that time he wouldn't have said, hey, can you want to go have coffee? He wasn't in that position yet in his life, but now he was realizing that he has something to offer, that he's not this dud that no one would give him 5 seconds of time. And even though she was gorgeous, that doesn't mean she wouldn't give him the time of day. You know what I mean? So I love that part of it. And I like the fact that she laughed and she smiled, and she felt, you could see her at first kind of closed, not by her so much her what she said, it was her demeanor, the facial expressions and stuff. She seemed to relax throughout the night. And they eat a burger together, and she wipes his mouth off. And it's just little things, even the getting to know each other without even knowing anything about each other. See, you know what I mean? The physical connection between the two as they speak, not as they make love. You know what I mean? I like that. That built the character for them, for their roles, their arcs for me. What did you think about that scene?
I thought that the arc for those two from start to finish actually felt really subdued. Like, I was expecting at some point a little more emotion.
Oh, really?
I was.
I saw subtle undertones the whole thing.
I wanted it. I knew it was going to be subtle. I knew it was going to be kind of low key, but that doesn't really that didn't make me happy. I wanted it to be a little bit more huzzah. Give me a woman who jumps for joy. Give me a woman who jumps into his arms. And I would have been happier with that. Now, this isn't a bad film, but the way those two their character arcs go, the subdued themes really hit. It's just that I would have preferred a little bit more huzzah.
Well,
does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. But I guess I'm looking at it a little different as a woman. I'm seeing something different than you are, because to me, watching her, knowing she's a prostitute, okay, for one, and that's why at first, when I first started watching and him meet with all these different women, at first I thought they were all paid prostitutes. But then when the classy lady showed up and she talked to him about the way it works, how the system works, you don't talk to each other, using your first name, you don't do rough sex or anything like that, and they have to pay for the room, whoever is the one that makes the day, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Once that came out, that's when I went, it is a legitimate thing. See, because at first I didn't know for sure whether it was or if it was just a prostitute because of what you saw in the trailer. So I was expecting something like that. But as it unfolded, I was like, this is really intriguing. I think this is great, because when she said what she said, I've said that before myself, and I had never seen this movie. When she said women have urges too, when he says, why do you like to do this? And that's the thing, is that women aren't these whatever most men think, whatever schmucks or whatever, they just want guys for their check or whatever, I don't know. I feel bad for guys who have that kind of a woman experience. A lot of women go to the ladies' room, just like I said, and they're talking about, damn, did you see that guy's ass? He's hot. He's got good shoulders, or his teeth are nice, or they're all talking about different parts of people's bodies. I'm sure you guys do it, even though most of you guys talk about tits and legs or whatever. But
when you enter a room first with your tits, we're going to probably talk about your tits first. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying, she didn't have any. She was like what I was when when I was in high school. Everybody called me Dolly Niblets. So that was my nickname, because both my sisters, Sandy and my older sister, they were built like, like Mae West, both of them. So, I had one a little older, one a little bit younger than me. And I was tall and skinny, athletic build. So I didn't get the looks. They'd see me and we'd be on a date and they'd bring me home and I'd come and meet my mom or whatever. And they go, "Who's that?" And then they wanted to go out with my sister and I didn't get asked out again. So I know what that's like.
I
He
don't.
was little like that.
I'm going to sound like a total dick here, but could you imagine being Janet and you have some nice looking young man who he's fit and trim and he's on the varsity or junior varsity football team, and Janet nailed a date with him and she kind of likes him. He's a little cute. He's kind of awkward because all guys are kind of awkward. And you bring him home to meet mom and the family. And when I say the family, it's a house full of women. It's four
And my dad, he'd
other
sit on the couch and hardly speak.
four other sisters, and they're all eyeballing Janet's new offering to the altar of revolving boyfriends. And guys are just staring at these other ladies that are there. Some are our shaped build, some are kind of mousy build, some are tall and lanky like Janet. And poor Janet, poor Janet. Oh my dear Lord. One of our early supporters has joined us in the chat today. One of our friends, Flady1. If you guys give a shout out to hello to Mr. Flady, that'd be great.
Hi, Flady.
We miss you, sir. I hope you're doing well. And
He needs to join us again.
One of my favorite things whenever I go into the bathroom with a gaggle of men is I like to hear my friend Levon say, "Check out the vulva on her." That gets said 99% of the time, ladies. Bullshit. It does not. Nobody's ever said that. Correct, Six Nation.
I've never heard anybody say that. If some guy ever said that to me, I would get up and leave. No
man has ever flexed over the gag reflex of a date. No man has ever flexed on just exactly the interior mouth features of a woman. These are things you keep hidden to yourself. You don't share those with your friends.
Mm-hmm. But that's why I think it's important. And what I liked about this is the fact that she started off as a prostitute. Okay, so she's pretty and everything, but she's very young, and she meets somebody like Hugh Jackman's character. He's total dickhead, total ass, stuck up, narcissistic pig, basically, right? Mm-hmm. His name was Wyatt or whatever, Wyatt. And so she's pretty much, as a prostitute, she might not have been around a long time, but he snatched her up because he saw somebody pretty he can use in his scams, right? And we don't know how many scams he used her in before this one, right? You don't know that. It's an open page. But as you see how he treated her in the room, him grabbing her by the boobs and just talking smack to her. He's just an ass. He was, I was almost crying in that scene for her. Then when he threw her down on the bed and he just basically had sex with her, because he treats her like a prostitute. He says he wants to do this and do that. He says a couple things, but then the way he treats her, that's what hurt me. And that's one reason why I feel that she was this, started to open up for Ewan McGregor's character because he treated her like a person. He looked her in the eye and he just told her she was beautiful and that she was sweet. And, that when he first saw her in the subway, he just couldn't wait to see her again. He just wanted to know more about her. Everything that all she ever wanted, probably since she was a little girl. And he was the first one to ever do that to her. Everyone else treated her like she was nothing because she was a prostitute, and that's why I think her character did perfect throughout the whole movie. I didn't expect her to run and jump on him and stuff. She doesn't have that demeanor because of her lifestyle. She's afraid to bust out and do anything because she doesn't know what kind of treatment she's going to end up getting, especially when you find out what kind of a thumb that Wyatt character had down on her, right? So she was afraid. She didn't know she's a mousy character. She's introverted. She's very mousy, and that's why she fell for what was his name? Jonathan. Yeah, Jonathan. She fell for Jonathan because he was totally opposite, completely opposite of Hugh Jackman's character, which one of the reasons why I liked him. And he grew on me because at first I kind of felt awkward with him. I didn't know whether he was like one of those real doll type of guys or what he was, you know what I mean? And then one of my favorite scenes in the movie was when him and Hugh Jackman are sitting there smoking a joint. And it almost looked like they were really laughing, maybe really smoking a real joint. To me, at least that's what it seemed like. So he was playing him. He knew exactly what he was doing before he even met him, because he sent her into the subway to follow him so he would see her and to make sure that he saw her and she said something to him. So he would already have that imprint of her. Okay. So that when the phone call came, he would have an instant attraction to her simply because he'd already met her, because he'd already studied this guy's character. I'm sure he'd been going to all these law firms and stuff for a while looking for the right person to suck into his scam, because that's what it is. That's what it was. And I'm sure he's done it before, but he'd never done it that big because he didn't have the opportunity. But this time, and guess what? He got all the money. How far did he get with it? Nowhere, because he died. He ended up dying. And that was what was the one thing, one of the big faults that I found in this movie was the fact that he got all those phone calls, like, every day he got at least one phone call, or he got a couple in a week, every week, right? But after Michelle's character disappeared, he didn't get a single phone call until that one girl finally called, thinking it was really him. See what I mean? The other guy, Wyatt.
Yeah.
And when Wyatt didn't show up, it was Ian McGregor's character. And that's when he realized, I got to find out where she's at. That was where it kind of like broke. The story broke for me, it
did
a little bit, because there wasn't any phone calls. It should have been getting lots of calls, even though just saying no, or not answering. But the phone wasn't ringing, you know what I mean? Like it was because look at it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people he slept with. I mean, right at the beginning, it was one hot interlude then another, and different animalistic stuff going on. The girl crawling up to the bed, you could tell he was just having a great time because it was opening him up, to a life that he never would have known if he hadn't met this person. And I thought that was what made it his character arc really good and improved, because you could see him go from this mousy guy that combed his hair down like Poindexter, and then he ends up being a dapper, debonair businessman. You know what I mean? So I just liked it. I loved how his character arc, but he fell in love during this whole thing, and because he put her in danger, it made it even more solid, his feelings for her, and all he wanted to do was save her. And then when he went to the morgue, okay, and he saw the other girl that he did sleep with, he realized that it was real, that the whole thing that he was hoping was not real, not a real thing. He didn't know for sure what was going on, but as soon as he saw her dead on that slab, and he had slept with this woman, he knew that S was in trouble, basically, that he had to do whatever it took if he ever wanted to see her again, if she was even alive, because he knew there was a chance that she wasn't. But he knew that he had to figure out some way to get the goods on this guy and take him down. And in a way, I loved how the cops never did catch any of them. You know what I mean? Because honestly, in real life, that's pretty much what's going on.
Yeah.
Very few people in this kind of situation that we watch in this movie ever get caught. They get away with it. I mean, look how many scammers get away with millions of dollars every year because some old person gives them their social security number and they just wipe out their bank account.
I was asked it earlier today.
Happens all the time, every single day. and they never get caught because they're either they got the right encryption stuff on their computer. They got 5 people that are working the phone, and they're all taking their part to do whatever, right? Whatever it is, and they're splitting the money up. So it to me, it was more realistic because the cops were, just out of reach. They never were going to get close enough to actually catch it because of the real narcissistic scumbag Wyatt had set this all up and knew exactly what he was doing because he'd already done all this shit before on other people. We don't know who it was, but we knew he was scum, and the fact that she was afraid of him, and even the girl that he met up with at the hotel that he got the more juicy, real information on the guy. She was afraid of him too. So, even though he probably didn't hurt her, but she just knew because she slept with enough people and spent enough time with people in her job that this guy was bad news. But she couldn't help herself. He was good in bed or whatever it was. Like a lot of people say, AOC, she's a piece of shit liberal, but I'd sleep with her. It's like, I have no standards. I mean, if you're going to just jump in bed with whoever, then I definitely don't want you. But, then you're not looking for someone like me. You're looking for someone like that. Trashy. So
chat, if you've ever seen this movie Deception, if you've ever seen it, go ahead, let us know what you thought of it. This is a nice little film. I think it's a good little kind of like a sleeper thriller. I would say I give this movie probably a 65 out of 100. It's definitely watchable, possibly rewatchable. And I got to say, the character development in this movie is probably, it harkens me back to another sleeper film we watched called Mr. Brooks with Kevin Costner and William Hurt.
When I asked you to watch.
Yeah.
Demi Moore. Yeah, it was good. But what's your score for it? I want to see what your score is.
I said 65.
Oh, 65? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, I just said 65. It's okay. The reason why I'm doing that is that it's a quality film. There's definitely some good parts out of it that are definitely watchable, and you can take and say like, well, for film school or character development school, this really scores high for this, and that's one of the big parts of this movie is the character development. The bad thing is that none of the locations where they shoot matter. None of them. There's no consequences to where they're at. There's nothing writing. There's no ticking clock. That's like my big criticism of the movie. And while we're having our friends rate this film or just be like, I've never heard of it.
I never heard of it till you told me about it. So
even our queen mod, Jackie Blue, one of my favorites.
You didn't know about it.
She never heard of it. So I'm just saying, like, the only person I've ever heard talk about it aside from me is Six Nations, and Six Nations, for crying out loud, I don't think he really socialized much, because whenever we talk about books or films, he's there and he can throw like 10-15 minutes of discussion out there. Like, the guy he's absorbed a lot of media. Very cool guy. Here's another one. Never heard of it.
Yeah. See, the thing is, it was really good. The acting was good. So I'm not going to knock the acting. That isn't why I'm taking it down.
No.
There was just gaps in the story, in the script. And I don't know who wrote this. I didn't get a chance to look it up because we watched it and then we went live.
His name is Mark Bombach.
Is he the one who wrote the script?
He's the writer of this.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote Dawn of Planet of the Apes, War for Planet of the Apes. He wrote
Really? Ooh, I love those movies.
Excuse me, he's producer for those, but he's written a fuck ton. He's written so damn much. White Bird, Outlaw King, Dawn of Planet of the Apes, The Wolverine. He wrote the new version of Total Recall 2012. That sucked. He wrote Unstoppable. That sucked. He wrote the 2009 remake of Race to Witch Mountain with Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, I didn't see that one. I don't really like Dwayne Johnson.
It's okay.
I never
And
watched
then he wrote Live Free or Die Hard, which is Die Hard Part 4, which
I
is the
never saw that
last
one either.
Die Hard movie out there that's worth a shit. Because there is a fifth one in Moscow with his son, and you're just better off to hit your dick in the hammer. Hit your dick with a hammer.
The only one I've seen is I think there were two of them. I think I saw the two with Bruce Willis, and that was it. You know, the
Yeah.
original one, the one where he's married, and the second one when he's divorced.
Well, the third one is great. The
I
third
never
one
saw
was
that.
great because it was Hans's brother that's blowing up parts of the city with Sam Jackson trying to not let Bruce Willis's character get killed in Blacktown. And he's walking
Yeah.
around with a sandwich board, which just absolutely will drive minorities to the point of violence. It's a fun movie. Next week, before we go into your side of this,
Mhm.
I want to showcase what we're going to be doing next week. Let's get kicked off YouTube. Like,
I don't know if I don't even know which movie you're talking about. I never heard of this one. It's called Shout.
Nope.
Oh,
Where's the volume? Come on.
I'll be coming for her, and I'll be coming for you too.
Sure you will. And I'll be waiting.
I've never seen it.
You are about to enter a world unlike any you've ever seen before, where rock and roll is king. The only law is a loaded gun. Where the beautiful,
Stay and see the show. It's really good.
the brutal,
I want Tom.
That's William. That's our boy,
Yeah. He's awful pale.
William Dafoe.
Is he a
Oh my God.
vampire or something?
He looks like it. He should be.
Cody.
and the brave all meet
From now on, it's for real.
in Streets of Fire.
Michael Pear is like the
I loved him in Eddie and the Cruisers. I love that movie.
he's like a discount version of Sylvester Stallone.
He's way better looking than Sylvester Stallone. Who is the standard? Is that a guy or a woman?
I have no idea.
Oh my god. It looked like a woman, but
It looks
that
like a
looks like a
woman,
guy.
but I've been confused before.
Are they a band? Is this about a band or what? What's it about?
I have no idea.
Oh,
about
you've not
motorcycle-
seen it?
Not seen it. It's about
Okay,
motorcycle
now that's a
gangs.
woman. It looks like a woman.
Motorcycle gangs and rock and roll. That's it. That's all I know
Oh.
about this movie. It's got
I've
Bill.
never heard of this. No idea what this
It's got one of my favorite actors in
is.
it.
When did it come out?
1984.
1984.
The
Never-
movie, the year that there could be no bad movie. I'm sure there's a bad movie in 1984. I'm positive of it. But I've yet to see a bad movie from 1984.
I mean, most of the movies that I remember seeing in the 80s and the 90s, I think were all good. It wasn't until like 2000 and something.
Now, from the creators
Where
of 48
I started getting to where I didn't really
Universal
like them.
Pictures presents Michael Pare, Diane Lane, Rick
Diane
Moranis,
Lane.
and Amy
Rick
Madigan
Moranis.
in Walter Hill
Oh.
film,
Okay.
Streets
I like
of
him.
Fire.
Everybody likes Rick Moranis. But this
What made
movie,
you want to pick this movie?
we were talking about crazy fucking cocaine fueled films, and this one popped up. I'm like,
Here,
sounds crazy. I'll watch it.
proceed.
I've never heard of this movie except for like a brief period in '84 when it was out, and then it was out of the theaters within 2 weeks. It's got Rick Moranis, Diane Lane, callback. It's got Deborah Van Valkenburg.
I
and-
recognized her when she was singing in the band, but I didn't know who it was. But when you said her name, or when they said her name, and then I saw her full face, I was like, wow, she was young.
You got Bill Paxton as a supporting cast member in this movie, so it can't be that bad. But the fun parts of it are the callbacks this movie has to the Warriors. So Streets of Fire has both Debbie Valkenburg and Lynn Thigpen, which she was the mouth behind the microphone. That's all.
I remember her, the radio lady.
Yep, that's all she did. And the Warriors, you're gonna get your ass kicked. I love.
Oh yeah, she was phenomenal. She has a good voice too.
She's just
there
amazing.
you go.
Yep,
right there. Mm-hmm.
And Walter Hill does. He's part of the power behind this movie. So we're gonna watch one of his earlier films and earlier scripts. Walter Hill. He also wrote Alien.
Mm-hmm.
And did some other work out there, or not wrote it, but he helped with the script and he directed portions of it. Part of the producing team. If you look at the mess that Alien is, Ridley Scott's kind of the guy behind it, but there's a lot of big names that are crowded in that fucking back room and held around the camera when they're filming.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like they kind of did things by committee for a little bit, and then they just let Ridley go. After about a week of filming, they let him go. You've got your script. You know, we've given you Dan. He's going to write the Alien franchise for the rest of his days. His grandkids will never stop getting Alien money because Warner Brothers and Disney can't go a summer without another Alien project.
That's like Avatar now, right?
Yeah. No. Avatar is still not nearly as cool as Alien. Alien had.
I know, but they're making more and more and more. It just keeps going on. And Halloween, they did the same thing with Halloween.
Yes.
Freddy Krueger, it's like, it seems like you get one hit and they have to make 25 of them or something.
That's it. That's the thing. They're going for the supply. So we're going to watch that next week and we're going to discuss it because that movie, it's on the Walter Hill list. So I'm going to review it. If you haven't figured out already, you haven't queued in. I do like Walter Hill. He's one of my favorite figures in Hollywood. He's still out there kind of doing stuff occasionally. He's getting slower. He's crested 75. I don't know if he's hit 85 yet, but the guy's just a machine, and he was really good in Hollywood for many years. He had a share of stinkers. There was a movie that I liked that nobody else did called Southern Comfort, where they took some Army reservists and they had them hike through southern Texas into Louisiana, and it didn't go well. It was like Deliverance, but it really is.
We really need to. I would like to review that one. It's a good one. Deliverance. Have you seen it?
Years ago.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but that one time. But there was a lot of good things in the movie that was good. The acting was good. It was a good movie.
It is a good movie. We'll watch it.
I think it won some awards too. I'm not 100%, but I think so.
I could not tell you.
I've not seen Southern Comfort.
Southern Comfort is its own monster. It really is. But there's some problems with it. It's actually enjoyable, I found out. That was one of the movies that I discovered when I was laid up with COVID. And I was waiting for my body to start reversing course and get healthy. And so I watched that. And I watched Southern Comfort, and I watched The Bridge at Remagen, which is a World War II, real classic World War II film, one of the better ones out there, but nobody talks about that one today. Yeah, Deliverance came out in 1972. John Foreman directed it. Well, you gotta watch it. And you're like, well, wait, Bruce, you should be watching anyways. Deliverance. Well, no, because there are certain movies, they're from certain people. Like if it had Jack Black in it, nah, we're skipping it.
Because if we're going to watch any movie at all with Jack Black, we're going to watch the one I want to watch. The one movie that I like that he's in it.
Enemy of the State or The Jackal?
The other one, I sent you the thing and you got mad at me, so I'm not going to even say the name of it.
I appreciate that.
But that's the one movie I want to see. And because I like the story. I like what the story says. Just like I liked Lars and the Real Girl. It wasn't the fact that he had a real doll. It was the fact that he had a mental illness. He had and how the people come together to save him. That's what I liked about the movie. So that's how I am. That's the kind of stuff I pick, depending on what's going on, in the world and things. So, but, so do you want me to talk about my score or not?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Well, there was a few things I didn't like that took me out of the movie. It didn't ruin it for me, but it did. Hold on. I'm on my X real quick. I'm trying to bookmark it. So before we're not live anymore, so I'll have it. Okay. I had to log in to do that. So give me a second. But there was one thing I told you that after she disappeared, okay, he didn't get any more calls. So it was like, were they all in on it, or did his phone just go away? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happened. But then he got the phone call, but it was, a week, in almost a whole week later, he finally gets a call saying, meet me at so-and-so, so that kind of was weird. It should have been
really a whole week that he waited for that.
But it seemed like it all that time. Remember, the phone was ringing and ringing, and he went to work and he did a bunch of stuff, and he never got a single call until that one girl called right when he needed to find out where she was at and who that guy was. So I don't know. I just felt like that was like, it took me away, because I was trying to think, why has anybody called? I wish I hadn't done that, but I did that. And then the other thing, I'm trying to remember what the other one was. The thing is that this was like an erotic, a thriller kind of movie to me, with the whole story around the sex cult. Basically, it's where you can get dates with different people and there's no strings attached, and it's with people that have money, so they all have something to lose, except for this guy, because he was a crook and he was able to worm his way in there. But there was this little things like that that I liked. But when you get taken out of it, like when, to me, the whole thing about, what was it? Damn, I lost my train of thought. The story was crap. Okay. It was intriguing. The acting was phenomenal. The sets were okay. I mean, the street scene sucked, because it was like every time they went outside, I kept saying, are we in Chinatown? They had too much Asian stuff in it to make me think that they were in like Wall Street or anything like that. You know what I mean? It kept pulling me out of the story.
For some reason, I thought they were in New York, because I was recognizing some landmarks. Maybe they just did.
Yeah, out the window. But when they would go out on the street, it was like they were always in Chinatown, because there was these Asians
stuck in the middle of like, where the fuck are they now?
Yeah.
And
I
none
didn't like that.
None of it mattered. None of the locations matter in this movie.
Yeah.
That's the only thing about it I don't really like, because like a lot of times I think logistically about everything.
Yeah.
And so like I'm always thinking, whenever I watch a movie, like, where are they at? What do they got to do? Where they got to go? What's the ticking clock situation? And this movie had none of that.
The other big thing that really, I was waiting for something to happen, and I was like, what the fuck? He pulls a gun out and he's holding a gun on someone in the middle of the street. Okay.
Yeah.
In the city. And they both have suitcases, and nobody says anything. No one screams, nothing. And then he's shot from behind by someone else that shoots him when a gun goes off, and not one person.
And this is why.
Reacts in any way at all.
This is fucking why I thought it was a play, because
that's me too. That's another reason.
They moved it from inside an apartment or inside like a server room or a server farm, and instead of it being there, where the money's made on the ones and the fucking zeros, instead we have it. We're just gonna. You're on West 57th, but you've got a gun. We have the one gun. No, there's two guns in New York City. Oh wait, Michelle Williams has a third gun. It was fucking kind of
it had a huge gap there, and I kept waiting for people to run over or something. And then he just picks up his passport, you know, he puts it in the other guy's pocket with his fingers, you know, just little things like that were just too stupid. It didn't, after everything that happened between them, it was just stupid. Well, I guess it wouldn't matter because it's supposed to be him. It's supposed to be him, so I guess the fingerprints wouldn't matter. But the fact that nobody came after two guns were open in public, and then a bullet went off, and nobody did anything. So they just walked off, and then he left 2 suitcases full of what, $20 million.
Yep.
You know, just left it in the street. To me, it was you know, it was romantic, the fact that he didn't want the money, that he just wanted her, basically. And then she just left. But then at the very, very end, when he turns and he sees her, and she just smiles at him, and it was almost like they were made for each other, because both of them were so low key, you know, and quiet and calm demeanors. They're going to be one of those families where the only noises you're going to really hear are sounds in the bedroom and the kids screaming and hollering, because the parents don't yell. You know what I mean? It's one of those families. There's very few, but I have met a few families like that. But that's what they reminded me of. But those 3 things brought the movie down for me, because it made it not realistic. You know, just like I said, it was more like a play than it was. It's like they took a play and they made a screenplay with it and then made a movie without changing a lot, because it was very drawn out and slow. But the acting was phenomenal. I really loved the acting. The film script was very thin. You know, it didn't really have a lot of, you know, excitement and gumption in it. It was just very blasé. But the most intriguing thing about the whole thing was the sex cult thing, you know, hooking up with the rich people. If they'd used that a little more and had a little bit more of that in it, it would have been a way better paced movie, I think. But they focused way too much on Hugh Jackman's drawing out part of his crime, I guess, what he was committing. But if it wasn't for Michelle being as the actress in that, I don't know if it would have been able to even hold water as long as it did. She did a phenomenal job. She was very realistic. I thought she was great, like the scene where he throws her down on the bed and you can see her just trying not even to cry out or anything. She's just trying to just pretend like she's going to another personality or something. You know what I mean? To not think about what's going on and how much she hated being there and her life sucked. You know what I mean? And then when they went to the bank and he went in and she was left, because he didn't even want to leave her alone, because he wanted to take her in there with him, because he didn't trust that she would stay around, basically. I didn't think he probably would have killed her anyways and just kept all the money. Because
I think he would have kept it all.
Yeah, he didn't want to give up $1 million. But the fact that they end up together at the very end, that brought it up again. So my score is a 7 out of a 10 for overall for this movie. But I thought it was worth watching. It's definitely worth watching, sitting down, but having popcorn and being able to have no distractions, because you really do need to pay attention if you want to really understand what's going on, because there is lots of different twists and turns and who's involved, you know, in different things, like the whole thing about the guy coming to fix the leak, you know, all the little things also go in there, and they didn't really put a lot of emphasis in it. You know what I mean? They used it in pictures, but there wasn't really a lot of dialogue that went along with some of these things that were important to what happened in the story. But overall, I really did. I thought it was a lot better than I was expecting it. The movie is way better than the trailer. I can tell you that. The trailer doesn't do it justice. I'll shut up now.
It's okay. Six Nations says it might be a budget thing. LA's Figueroa Street or San Antonio's Zarzamora Street was a little too expensive. Mm-hmm. I don't know what our price is on Zarzamora Street. I really don't. I'm going to do a Bing search real quick and see what shows have been on Zarzamor Street because that's one of the kind of the main arteries through the city.
Well, I want to say one thing about that, okay? Because I have been on lots of sets. Okay, when you have restaurants or different things like that, you go over and you say, "Hey, we're going to film here on this street or whatever, and we're going to put. Can we put this? You get like not a sheet, but it's a vinyl sign made, that says something like vote for so and so or this cigarette or whatever, an ad, a fake ad, and you drape it over the other sign, and it fits in with whatever it is genre that you're working on, right? Instead of leaving up all the little Asian or whatever street signs, you could have made it more like Brooklyn or whatever by changing a couple signs and just draping a sign over it. I've seen them do it on millions of stats and commercials and stuff. It's very cheap and easy to do. And I don't know. I just think that was one of the things the director dropped the ball, because that could have been fixed with editing. All they had to do is edit that one scene out where they turn the camera and you see the Chinese stuff. That's, that you're in Chinatown because it's cheap. Just little things. Because even being standing in front of a business and you can see the bar through the windows and they're talking, but you don't see any street signs or anything, but you hear cars driving by and stuff. That's all you need. You see what I mean? Mm-hmm. And you're still in the story. You don't get taken away from it. But every time they're doing all this highfalutin stuff with money, and all these other people are in there saying they don't know who this guy is, and his lawyers and people in suits, like it's Wall Street. And then they walk outside and it's Chinatown. So just little things like that, it just really bothered me. And that could have been fixed so easily with editing. But I don't think the editor was that bad. I don't think it was his fault. I really do think the director said, I want this in the movie. I don't want to cut that out or something. I don't know. To me, it just seemed. Remember that movie we watched? And I told you the whole movie, it felt like the director was shoving everything down your throat to the end. Yeah. That's a little bit like this director to me. The director had so much control that everyone else really didn't have anything that they could do about it, like with editing or music or any of those things. The actors did, but everything else, the set design, whatever, it was all the director said, no, I want this and this is what I'm getting. So sometimes you can't do anything because you just have to do what the director says. That's the way it is in show business. So that's my point of view on it.
I believe there was a writer's strike in 2007, and more than likely it did help out set the movie back. Yeah. Remember, for all of you that are getting involved with Second Amendment gun rights and everything as we become a more freer nation, and you should encourage your senators and representatives to help you become a more free nation. You want to be able to look at the people you love, just like this young girl looks at her fucking Desert Eagle. I just thought that was cute.
Yeah.
Okay. So this movie, not a horrible film, enjoyable, would watch again, probably. Not this year. It's not Big Trouble in Little China. I don't need to see it again like soon, but I'll watch it again.
I mean, you could put this on and just finish watching it up to the part where the sex stuff is over. Because that was exciting in a fun way. I mean, fun way.
I like the way they shot that.
I was starting to go, damn, this is getting good.
The movie,
I even put in the chat, I said, hey, I joined that club.
I think it's very, very interesting on a lot of different levels, and I was surprised about it.
Mm-hmm. Had a lot of depth. Especially that part of the movie, because the women they had lined up, like you said, were beautiful, smart, and most of them I recognized from other movies. And the ones that did have the dialogue, not just, groping and whatever else, actually were good actresses, So they didn't have dump actors. All the actors in this movie were good.
Yeah, I can't complain. I really cannot. This movie has a lot of things that you want in a film. If you just want something that's got a little bit of smut in it, this movie qualifies.
Yeah. And it has, lots of frontal nudity for women.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
That does. Next week.
But it was tasteful, even though it was about meeting up with people, hookup culture, basically. It was still tasteful. It wasn't gross. You know what I mean? It wasn't, I don't know. I didn't think it was un, you know, I didn't think it was tasteless. I thought it was pretty good the way they did
This
it.
wasn't like, FDR American Badass.
No, nothing like that. It was not gross in any way. So I thought it was tasteful, and it wasn't perverted looking sex. Like, I don't know. It was it looked like two consulting adults that were having a damn good time.
Mhm.
Ian McGregor had a good time. I would love to have, if I ever get to meet him at a con or something like that, I'm going to ask him that. I'm going to ask him, did you enjoy your sex scenes in this movie? I'm going to make sure I have a note, and that'd be one of the questions I would ask if I was at a Comic-Con. Had nothing to do with Star Wars. I would ask him about this movie because it looked like he had a great time.
It looks like he had a blast with this
I
film.
think so.
And this is like one of the few times he's making a movie for adults. So he's getting a chance to actually like flex his chops and do things.
And he did a good job in the scene where the tenseness of the scene when the cop brought him into the morgue.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was like apprehensive about wanting to see what was under the sheet because he didn't want it to be her.
No.
And then when he saw who it was and he realized, oh, I know this girl, I can't tell him. I can't, he did a good job of portraying a person that was stuck in that predicament. At least that's how I felt. So acting was very good.
His discreet manner in this movie, like his general, just the nature of his character made him excessively likable.
Mm-hmm.
I was really
wanted to see him win. Be successful.
Yeah, you want to see him come out on top. And as much as every time I look at Hugh Jackman, I think of movies like either a Wolverine film or Real Steel.
I love that one too.
One of the better movies that came out in the last fucking 15 years that nobody talks about.
Prestige. I've seen a lot of movies that Hugh Jackman was really good in.
See, we were one of the last people I know to talk about The Prestige, and there was like 30 people I knew that I watched over the past 5 years. That movie's come out of their mouth. Mm-hmm. And so I wasn't really excited about talking about The Prestige, but everybody else is like, oh my God, this is great. Yeah, it is a great movie. There's reasons why. There's reasons why he makes a good film. First off, there's a great budget behind it. 2, you got Michael Caine fixing all the background stuff. 3, the very ending reveal where there's 30 fucking 30 fucking tubes with Hugh Jackman in them. It's great. It just goes so hard. The Prestige is a great film. That movie earned its 80+% that I gave it because that movie does deserve that. This movie here, not as much, has a very low budget. I think it was supposed to be a play. Still a fine movie. Great character development. Just horrible fucking logistics. Like the gun scene, the pistols all being drawn out in the middle of like what should be New York City.
Yeah, Main Street, basically.
Like West 57th, here's everybody with guns. No, I don't think that's going to work like that.
Now, see, if it had been like in the ghetto, you know what I mean, or it's in that part of Brooklyn, or in the back streets, it would have been more believable. But this wasn't. This was in the high society part.
If this would have been like set in a location where they set the movie Defiance with Michael Vincent,
it was the placement of the characters and the scene that made me go, what the hell? Where's the why no one's reacting? So that's what made it the hardest for me. I had to lower the score because of that. It wasn't real. It had so much real stuff going on, like the scene where she's thrown on the bed and he basically, takes her against her will and she just closes off, to the world. That was realistic. But then to go from that scene to one where it's like they're pulling guns and shooting and someone shoots and nobody reacts. To me, that was a play. It just took you out of the movie. So just a few subtle things like that. But besides that, the acting is good.
Yeah.
And I really was impressed with Michelle. Michelle Williams really impressed me in this movie. She's a good little actress.
I'm really not excited by her. I'm not. I think she's a passable actress, but she's always brought out and trotted about. They always treat her like she's like some sort of like Hollywood royalty.
I think it's because of who she was dating,
Yeah,
not because of who she was.
that's exactly it. She was with Heath Ledger, and for some odd reason, everybody and their brother wants to, celebrate Heath Ledger. Like, okay, the guy had problems. Do we not understand this?
Mm.
Um,
That's sad.
so here's a question. November 30th is a scheduled viewing and discussion of Tammy and the T-Rex. We can watch Tammy and the T-Rex, or we can watch The Disaster Artist. I want to know.
I have
fans here.
one.
Okay. For the chat, do you want us to watch Tammy and the T-Rex or The Disaster Artist? Let me know, because I'm willing to go either way. The Disaster Artist is a movie about the world's worst midnight movie ever made.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tommy Wiseau's epic, not made by Tommy Wiseau, about The Room. Baby girl wants to see the T-Rex.
I haven't seen either one, so I don't care. Whatever you guys want to watch is fine with me.
Yeah, I'm pretty okay with either.
What does he want to watch? Or Lloyd Christmas? You guys.
Or, Papa Cotton.
Papa Cotton, yeah, he's in here. So what do you guys want to watch? You guys throw in some answers. Give us an idea. Or even on X. There's a few people over on X. What would you guys want us to review? And remember, I'm inviting you, if you want to come watch a movie with us on Sunday before we do the review, my Discord's open, and you send me a DM and I will send you a link so you can join us in Discord and watch the movie with us.
If Discord does not work,
afterward. I'm sorry, what?
If Discord doesn't work, we will pull you into the green room.
Yeah, we can pull you into where we're at right now, and you guys can watch it with us. And then if it's a movie you would like to watch and you want to see it with us, we'd love to have you join us if you want.
It's all up to you. More than happy to have you. So aside from that, next week we're watching Streets of Fire.
Mm-hmm.
And looking forward to seeing what that movie is all about. I really like seeing Hugh Jackman in roles that I didn't know he had done before. This movie here, when I first saw it, it was 2009, and I was intrigued by it. Like, this is really weird. And then it wasn't long after that I finally got a chance to see Eyes Wide Shut. And Eyes Wide Shut and this movie overlap quite a bit. But when you talk about this movie, you can still talk about this movie. When you talk about Eyes Wide Shut, you just throw out the discussion of the movie Eyes Wide Shut. You're talking about everything around it, all the weird shit, the moon landing, the film The Shining, all of it. You're talking about so many different things. You forgot about the fact that Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman saw each other having threesomes, and they divorced because they were so committed to the role, they actually kind of got into it. And then, like, they had to go home at night and look at each other. Mm-hmm. And that kind of killed the marriage. And I'm not saying, oh, poor Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, like, that's a measure of fucked up.
Yeah, well, that ruins lots of marriages, the swinging and all that shit. I mean, look what Diddy did. I mean, he was doing where, I don't know what it's called, some terminology for a person who likes to watch their loved one have sex with someone else. I don't know what that's called, but there's a psychosis for a definition.
Are you talking about cuckolding?
Cuckolding or something like that, where you get to watch the person you love or supposed to be in a relationship with have sex with someone else.
I mean, I'm just saying that, like,
I
there's
just thought it was interesting how he always hired male prostitutes to have sex with his woman. Because a lot of guys I talked about, I've asked questions. I said, you know, I hear guys always saying they want a menage a trois, right?
this is
They
not
want another woman to come in, and I'm like, well, what if the woman wants to invite a guy, and they'll say, I ain't no crossing no swords with no other guy. But that's all Diddy did. Diddy brought in male prostitutes all the time, so he must have liked crossing swords. That's what I'm saying.
I, I think about this, and like, this is not a sexual position I want to be in. I don't want to watch somebody else have sex. Nah, I'm on main stage.
Me, I'd rather just have me, myself, and I, and whoever wants to be in there with me, but not, just one other person. I want someone to myself. I don't want to share them with anybody. I'll just tell you that.
Sorry, football team. Sorry, guys.
No, I'm not that kind of person.
No, we know. Next week, Streets of Fire. If you have anything, put it down in the comments. Really enjoyed having everybody here. Today's been kind of a weird day, and it's been a fun day, but it has definitely been one of those days where things are going on, and the news is not stopping. We just had a early morning shooting during the 8 o'clock hour that 3 people are now dead. It's kind of weird over here in San Antonio at the moment. Got other stuff, we'll let Janet talk about that on Friday night. But you guys keep your head on swivel. We don't want you to have issues with things. I do like seeing you guys week after week after week. I like it. Eventually, Lloyd Christmas, we'll get down to that 4th page. It'll happen.
What's on the 4th page is he talking about?
That movie right there.
Never Cry Wolf. I'd never seen that one either.
Makes 2 of us.
Okay, one thing I can tell you right now is most people that I know that are involved in TV shows or music videos or commercials and TV shows and movies, things like that, we don't go see them. I don't know why. It's just that you just don't want to. It's just not something. You've already know what happens. You sign a non-disclosure because you get the script. So you already know the whole story. So it's kind of boring. So when it comes out on DVD or streaming, whatever, you might watch it. But most of the time, you just don't go to the movies and watch stuff that you've been in. If you talk to anybody that's involved in that stuff, they'll say that. A person now, it's kind of scary if you think about it. If you meet someone and they say they're an actor, I've watched all my movies. Yeah, that's a person you probably need to run from. They're a huge narcissist. At least I would. But that's just what I think about it.
I don't make movies, so I just enjoy them. I get the easy job.
But I love movies myself. I love TV shows, and I watch them, and then I'm like, damn, would I've loved to have wore that costume, or I love the 1800s clothes, and the big, beautiful the costumes that were in the movie Dangerous Liaisons. Oh, I would have loved to been able to go in there and get the petticoats and all the stuff put on, have someone else help you, because you have to do your corset and all that. They have to string you up, and it's just really fun to get to do that kind of stuff. And it's fun costumes. But man, I tell you, you sweat. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's cold outside or not. You're going to be sweating with all those layers of clothes. But it's fun.
Last question before we shut down. What's your temperature going to be like this week, Janet?
Let me see if I have the weather on here or not. I don't have it now. So I haven't got that redone to my thing. Let me look on my phone. Sorry. Remember, my computer crashed, and I'm slowly trying to put stuff back on. But let me see if I have the weather app on my phone. It's supposed to be nice, I think. But my allergies have been terrible. I can tell you that.
I'll have to wear a hoodie tonight because it's going to get down to 43.
Really? So I guess it'll probably get cold here. But hold on. I'm going to have to type it in because I can't find it. Okay. It says my weather.
Go ahead.
Hold on. It's still opening. Remember, I have slow internet. It says, I guess supposed to have a freeze warning overnight. But see, I haven't looked at my thing at all today. And plus, I've kept my chickens locked up today. Now, I haven't seen him again, so I think I might have got him.
I'm just saying that, like, if you're wanting to live in a summer paradise, San Antonio is about the best that you can have.
In the 80s? Yeah, it's 46 right now here.
I mean, that's Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and chicken change between now and then. But, like, right now, average temperatures in the 70s, and it's 72 right now today, so we're
Is that
hitting,
normal for
Yeah.
where you're at?
Yeah.
And what's it like usually in January there? In the 60s?
55 degrees.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Cool. As like a cooler day, usually about 60 degrees.
Yeah, it's getting down to 31 degrees tomorrow morning at 3 a.m.
Oh, hell no.
31.
That is too cold because then you have problems and you got to have, you really have to have, like,
I brought all my plants in.
we have to do cold weather prep at my job. We have to go in and put in open valves and clear lines.
Here's a question I wanted to ask. Is there stuff you're supposed to put in your like septic tank in the winter or not?
Just
You know,
poop.
that stuff pour down your toilet?
Just poop. Just do poop, Janet.
Just poop? Okay.
Just make poop. That's all you have to do.
Pretty good. I guess because it's underground, I guess.
Yes, because the ground keeps it warm and insulated. Well, thank you one and all for being here today. This has been a fun show, and I wasn't trying to cut it short, but good God, this movie, it gave us enough bones to chew on, suck on, and suckle with. But then when it came time to like, oh, let's really get into it, it's a play. It's a good movie, but it felt like a play. Sorry, kids.
The pace of it, definitely. To me, I kept saying, was this written from a play? I kept saying that because it just seemed like it.
Look, Christmas, I believe we watched Legend already. We're getting ready to put Dark Christmas.
Yeah, I dressed up as a fairy.
You didn't see it?
I dressed up as Una. Remember?
Yep. I like it.
I love that movie. I love Tim Curry.
Have you seen Stardust yet or no?
It sounds familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
Stardust is an angel falls to Earth, and she's played by Claire Danes. And then the guy that future Daredevil guy, he plays the hero.
No, I haven't seen it.
He goes on an adventure. He leaves England through a magical portal to a place called Wall, and then he meets up with some people. He finds out there's the remains of 7 brothers that are hunting down this angel. There's a evil witch played by Michelle Pfeiffer. She's hunting down the angel.
Well, why do they want to hunt down the angel? Is there a reason behind it?
Because her corpse will make stardust, and it's a magical component.
Oh. Okay, so they can use it in spells.
Yeah, and then the king is played by Peter O'Toole, and was one of his last most drunken roles that
Yeah, I heard some really horror stories about him on set.
Horror stories? What the fuck? The guy would go in. Peter O'Toole would go in to makeup at 6 a.m. because he had just laid down at 5:30. Like, hell, it's gonna be one of those days, and he did that for years, for decades. Him and Oliver Reed both are two of the best fucking men. If you are in Hollywood and you want to know who could be my role model, make it 2 guys that they went and had fun, but then they went and turned on the work and they did the fucking work. They would pay for it later because you have to sleep at some point. But those guys would just stomach it and just go through. We're going to watch at some point the 3 Musketeers from 1971 with Oliver Reed.
Mhm.
There's a scene where he's fencing, and most of the scenes in that movie, he doesn't really fence much. He's not a good fencer. He's a brawler. He gets his sword knocked out of his hand so he can punch people. But he gets stabbed in the leg with a real sword.
Real life?
Yeah, when they're filming, he gets stabbed in the leg. And so he's a fucking actor. That guy, he didn't stop. Oliver Reed was a good fucking actor. He was a good guy, and he was a lot of fun to watch.
He just enjoyed the drink.
So let him enjoy the drink. He turned down the acting. That's what I want. Gentlemen, ladies, thank you so much for being here today. My name is Bruce. With me today is the ever lovely Janet from Another Planet. We'll be back here next Sunday to review the fantastic 1984 film from Walter Hill,